This is a review for the Bissell SpinWave robot vacuum. The Bissell's airflow was measured at 10 CFM. Its suction was measured at 0.29 kPa. In our carpet stress test, the SpinWave picked up all debris types fairly well, though it doesn't repeat movement over the same areas as much as most other robot vacuums we tested in a single run, and therefore required multiple runs for it to get a good cleaning of the test station. In our carpet deep clean test, the SpinWave picked up only 2 grams of debris after 3 passes over an area of carpet embedded with 30 grams of fine debris. In our hard floor stress test, the SpinWave once again picked up all debris types well, though it did struggle picking up edge debris. The Bissell does this back and forth movement against edges in an attempt to clean them better, but it spaces out the movement too much for it to be effective. Compare the Bissell's movement to this Eufy's, for example. The Eufy does a similar movement, but keeps it much more tight and compact, which dramatically increases its effectiveness. In our robot vacuum crevice test, the SpinWave did not perform very well on default power or on maximum power. Even after extensive runtime, it still could not pull most of the debris out of the crevice used for this test. In our human hair pickup test, the SpinWave picked up all the hair, but none of that hair was pulled into its dustbin. All of the hair it picked up tangled around its side brushes and around its brush roll, and had to be cleaned off manually. The SpinWave was able to collect all of the pet hair it picked up in our pet hair pickup test into its dustbin. However, it was unable to pick up all of the tufts of hair used for this test on a single run. The SpinWave can also be used as a mopping robot, and in our mopping test, it performed very well. It was able to clean the entire test surface in a single run in about 2 minutes. The SpinWave is unique in that it uses 2 smaller pads that rotate over the surface to clean it. Most other robot vacuums that can mop use a single large pad that stays stationary and is simply dragged across the surface to clean it. You can also use an included cleaning formula with the SpinWave, which we used during testing, while you can only use water with most other robot vacuums that can mop. Note though that regardless of these apparent advantages, the SpinWave really didn't perform any better in this test than most of the other mopping robot vacuums we tested. Most other robot vacuums we tested, even with basic mopping attachments, were also able to clean the test surface in about 2 minutes. We tested the SpinWave's cleaning efficiency and coverage in 2 different environments, an empty room and a cluttered room. In our empty room testing, we see the Bissell's row-by-row cleaning pattern demonstrated very well. The Bissell utilizes gyroscope technology to clean in this organized pattern. On the positive side of things, this test shows how the SpinWave has similar movement precision to other gyroscope robot vacuums on the market. That is, it moves very precisely from one row to the next in a very organized way. On the negative side of things, this test shows how the Bissell lacks the redundancy of many of those other gyroscope robots. Compare the Bissell's movement pattern to that of the Eufy G30 Edge, for example. Note how the Eufy also cleans neatly in rows, but is more redundant in its movements. It first cleans in vertical rows and then in horizontal rows. This redundancy goes a long way in ensuring proper cleaning on a single run, and the Bissell lacks this level of redundancy. In our cluttered room testing, we again see the robot's row-by-row cleaning patterns in the small open areas of the room. We also see it cleaning well around certain obstacles while struggling around others. In this trial, we see it missing a spot towards the top of the table frame. We also see it cleaning underneath the chair frame, but not without a struggle. Note how it pushes the chair quite a bit in an effort to move around it and clean underneath it. In this trial, we again see it missing spots initially. It eventually gets the left spot, but even after extensive runtime, doesn't seem to get the top spot or the bottom spot. And it again pushes the chair quite a bit in an effort to clean underneath it. Other important specifications and test results we considered for this review are summarized here. Note especially that this is not a mapping robot. It does not generate a map of the area it's cleaning for you to interact with. And so, even with the Bissell companion app, you cannot do things like label rooms or set no-go zones for this robot. There are also no physical boundary accessories like a magnetic strip, for example, included with the robot or available for purchase for use with it separately. In the same chart, also note the SpinWave's runtime, bin volume, and noise output, and how those specifications and test results compare to the average for all of the robot vacuums we've tested so far. Lastly, note the robot's diameter and height. These dimensions make the SpinWave one of the smaller robot vacuums we've tested. Moving on to what we like and dislike about the Bissell SpinWave, first let's talk about what we like. We really like the fact that it can also be used as a mopping robot. And despite the fact that it didn't really make much of a difference in our mopping test, we can still appreciate the theoretical advantages provided by spinning instead of stationary mopping pads, and the ability to use a cleaning formula instead of water to clean hard floors with the SpinWave. We also like that this robot has below average noise output on its default power setting, and runs extremely quietly on its quiet power setting. Moving on to what we dislike about the SpinWave, the first thing that comes to mind is its edge performance. The SpinWave just doesn't clean edges very well. It also lacks redundancy in its coverage, meaning that you'll likely have to run it multiple times for it to get a good cleaning of your home. Though even when you do, there's still a good chance that it will miss certain spots, as our coverage testing shows. In terms of general recommendations, we simply cannot recommend the SpinWave because of the negatives we just mentioned. Its edge cleaning performance is unacceptable, and so is its coverage. With better edge movement and coverage through future firmware updates, this has a chance to be a decent robot vacuum. But for now, we cannot recommend it. See the description of this video for the latest updated list of all of the robot vacuums we do recommend, and thank you for watching.